Hi, so I am Miss Sydney. I'm Ollie's teacher. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about helping Ollie with practicing for her new job. So one thing that will be a part of her new position at Rack Room Shoes will be working with different shoe sizes. And so she'll be needing to identify shoe sizes on a box when she's helping customers or putting shoes in order in shelves and different things like that. So we are going to practice, so we're going to be teaching her how to identify shoe sizes. So I've created an IEP objective and I'll insert it below. And so this goal will be how we watch for progress made towards meeting this goal. And so it'll have 4 different elements. It'll have the student, which is Ollie, condition, which is the circumstances needed in order for her to be participating in this behavior, and then the actual behavior, and then the criterion, which is our measurable goal that'll show whenever she has mastered this skill. So for this instruction, we'll be using simultaneous prompting. So that means that we'll be using a 0-second delay consistently through all the instructional trials. So we'll provide a prompt, meaning like the question, the task direction that we'll be giving, and then we'll immediately provide an answer to that prompt. So, for example, if we ask what shoe size is this, or find this shoe size, we will immediately provide the answer to that. And so the controlling prompt in this scenario is gestural prompting, which means that we will use our finger and point at the answer out of the different flashcards. So if it's like, what's a women's size 7, right as we say it, we will point at that card. And this is really ideal for you guys and for us because data is only collected for the probe trial. So it's really easy for you guys to implement anywhere, especially at home for you parents or parents. If you are just around and have a couple seconds to be practicing, you have the cards with you, you can be working on this. So it's really awesome. And probe trials are required since Ollie won't be able to show her ability on her own during normal instructional trials. And we'll go more into kind of what the probe's going to look like later on. And this is what we call a discrete task. And so when I say discrete, it means that it's a single action that can be observed and measured. So for example, on our last one, there was lots of different steps. It required a task analysis. So that was chained. But this is a discrete one because it's only one thing. We're going to ask the question and then she's going to tell us the size and that will be it. So for an instructional schedule, we can work on this anytime between 8 and 11 and then 1 and 3:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. And then we'll also be going to the store on Tuesdays from 9 to 10 a.m. so we can practice then. But parents, you can really work on this anytime that works for you. Like I said before, it will be really helpful that it is it's a task that doesn't require so much data besides for the probe. So I think it will be really great for you guys to practice at home in an easy fashion. So our goal is for her to generalize the skill, meaning that she can do it in circumstances that aren't all the same. Because whenever she's really going to be using this in the store, it's not going to be on flashcards that are written by me or written by you guys. It's going to be on real boxes. So we really want to practice generalizing this to boxes of shoes and in all different brands and things like that. So we'll practice at different times of the day with different people administering it and in different locations. We can also print out the cards in different fonts that are commonly used at the store for sizing. And we can also practice this in the store with real shoe boxes whenever we go on Tuesdays. That will be really helpful for her to know when she looks at the box where the shoe size will be. So for this task, there's only a few materials that are required, which will be the shoe size flashcards and then your data sheet and pen for the probe. And when I mean shoe size flashcards, you can make any kind of cards. I've made them on like notebook paper, different things like that. And you just write a women's or men's, the W or M, and then whatever size, and you can just make cards that she can practice with. So first, we'll need an attentional cue whenever we'll now be discussing kind of what it will actually look like whenever we are doing this trial. So we'll start with an attentional cue just like last time, which is how she knows that we're getting started and ready to work. So we'll say, Ollie, it's time to practice for work. And then we'll move on to the task direction, which is what tells her to begin this specific task. And we'll say this every time, including same way as the intentional cue. So in this time, we'll say find and then the size and the gender of the shoe. For example, like find the women's 7.5. And so then after each task direction is given, and we also give the answer immediately. There's no time delay on this. We'll then wait 3 seconds for a response interval, meaning that we'll give her 3 seconds after we give the task direction and point in order to give her an opportunity to respond before we praise her or give error correction. And in this scenario, we'll be using reinforcement on a CRF 1-to-1 schedule, which means a continuous reinforcement schedule. So every single time that she is able to correctly identify the size, we will be giving her verbal praise, since she really loves verbal praise, like a good job, awesome work, things like that. So every day before moving into instructional trials for simultaneous prompting, it's crucial to conduct a probe trial at the beginning, because probe trials will allow us to see how they're doing independently, because in simultaneous prompting, we don't give them an opportunity to show that otherwise. So as we do probe trials, we start with the attentional cue, it's time to practice for work, then move into the task direction, asking them to find the card, and then give them that same response interval of 3 seconds. That means we tell them to find the card, which is the task direction, then wait the 3 seconds before moving onto the next card. And for this one, we'll just move on regardless if it's correct, incorrect, or no response. If you want to reinforce correct answers, you can, but you don't have to. I prefer to in class just because I know that Ollie really likes verbal praise, but it's not a requirement for this, but I do recommend it. And we'll be recording data on this part so that we can keep up every day on how she's doing, since we won't be taking data on the instructional trials. So this is the probe trial data sheet. So basically for every correct answer, you'll put a plus and then a minus for any incorrect answer, as well as for a no response. You'll put a -2. And then at the end, we'll calculate the accuracy for each day so that we can keep up with where she is on a data sheet, since we won't be using a data sheet for the instructional trial. And here is the probe trial steps that you'll be using, which is also called the operalization. So these are the steps that I will be following in the following video. All right, great. It's time to practice for work. I'm going to put 3 shoe sizes out here and tell you which one to find, and then just pick up the one that I say. Find a men's 9. That's a women's 9. Find a women's 11. Great job. Find a men's 12. This one is the men's 12. Find the women's 6.5. Awesome job. Find the men's 11.5. Great job. So after finishing the probe trial, we will move on to the instructional trial. And this one is a little bit different than the probe because we will not be taking data, since we'll be providing the controlling prompts immediately after the task direction for every card that we practice. So for this, we will first start with giving the attentional cue, it's time to practice for work. Then give the task direction, which is find, and then whatever card is we've chosen to be practicing. And then we will immediately provide the controlling prompt, which is gestural, pointing at the card. And so the way that this is kind of laid out is we'll have you as the parent or parent will have all the cards in your hand, and you'll set 3 out on the table and then tell her to find the card and point at it, and then she'll pick up the correct one, and then you'll put the cards together and then put out 3 new cards and do that as many times as you need. So if you've put out the cards and you pointed at it and then she repeats the correct card, give her some verbal reinforcement, because we are on a 1-to-1 schedule. So every single time she correctly identifies a card, we will be giving her reinforcement. So you'll say, great job matching, Ollie, or whatever comes to your mind as some positive praise. And if she says the incorrect card or no response, we will error correct by explaining that you just pointed at the correct answer and that she just needs to read off of that card. Then we'll record, then we will keep repeating this until we are done for this practice session. So this is the operalization for the instructional trial for simultaneous prompting, which basically means these are the steps that we're going to follow in the following video. So you can kind of follow along using this. It's also included on the instructional program sheet. All right, Grady, it's time to practice for work. I'm going to put out 3 shoe sizes and tell you which one to find, and I'll point at it and pick up the one I'm pointing at because that will be the answer. Find the men's 10. Great job. Find the men's 11 and a half. All right, so I was pointing at this one. Take the one that I'm pointing at. Great job. Find the women's 9. Find the women's 9. Great job. Find the women's 6 and a half. Great job. Find the men's 11 and a half. So I was pointing at this one. Take the one that I'm pointing at. Find the men's 11 and a half. Great job. All right, so that is all for simultaneous prompting. Good luck, and make sure that you're just watching the fidelity checks. Those will be really helpful, as well as looking at the instructional program. It'll have everything that you need to make this a success. I think that this will be a really great way for her to be practicing with her numbers, since this can sometimes be a struggle spot for her. It'll be a way that she can be practicing and improve on this skill as quickly as possible so that she can be successful at work, and then also know that if she needs help, people can point at the number that she's looking for whenever she's working at the store.